This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe. Welcome back, everyone, to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. I am one of your hosts, Ben of Temeria, and normally I'm here with my co-host, Austin, but he is taking the week off. But today is our Patron episode, so joining us today, again, is our awesome friend, Kodojo. How are you doing today?
Hello there. I'm doing just fine. Long day at work.
I understand that completely. You know, day jobs are, well, day jobs. They're there for us to get the bills paid, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But, yes, we are here. We are going to be talking about multiple projects that are ongoing or just wrapped up in the Star Wars universe. So, Dojo here brought to my attention and wants to talk about The Bad Batch, the Tales of the Empire, and the upcoming Star Wars Acolyte show, which premieres next week, mind you all. Next week on June 4th? Or June...
Yeah, 1 week from today.
June 4th.
Wow.
So literally one week
closer.
today as of us recording. It would be actually already out by the time you actually hear this episode, since the episodes will post on Thursday. But, nonetheless, the Acolyte will be out once you hear this episode, which is awesome. Or, I lied, it's next week. So you'll hear this before the show drops. Okay. Time is man-made construct. That's all I will say. So, but anyway.
Boy. Off to a great start already.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. It's chaos. It's you know, that's patron chats for you. Should have heard the Witcher one last night. Oh my gosh. The things that came out of Mormon's mouth. Yeah, me and Toasty had to put some captions. CDPR, he does not Netflix, he does not sponsor us. This is not our opinions. But anyway, we're here to talk about Star Wars. So, Dojo, what do you want to start with first?
Bad Batch is longer, so we'll start with that. Tales of the Empire is only 6 episodes.
Right. And
Bad Batch
not even out.
15 episodes, so.
That's fair. So, yeah, let's just dive into Bad Batch. What do you want to talk about Bad Batch?
Well, Bad Batch, I guess spoiler warning for everybody who listens.
Oh, and yes, let me put that out. This is if you have not watched The Bad Batch or Tales of the Jedi, skip this episode, come back when you watch those two, because obviously it's spoilers.
So the first 3 episodes, just essentially Omega trying to plan to escape with as many clones as she can get, but she can only get what's his name? Crosshair. That was it. Can only get out with Crosshair. And Crosshair is going through his own situation. He has a little tick with his hand, and he's afraid he can't shoot quite as straight as he used to.
That's fair.
And
Yeah.
and meanwhile, the last two Bad Batch members, Hunter and Wrecker, are trying to figure out where to get how to find Omega and get her out. They don't realize how much Omega's developed in the first two seasons. She's already trying to get herself out, which kind of throws their plans in.
Right. Through their plan and their interest, like, oh well, she's
she's out. Oh boy.
We didn't even plan to this at all.
Yeah. And then she gets like a pet dog of some kind. It's some weird animal they use to keep a perimeter of the wildlife around the Tannis cloning facility. Somehow she makes friends with a beast and she gets it to help escape with Crosshair.
Right.
Now, I will say the one thing I didn't like about the Bad Batch is how they did Scorch dirty. Scorch was part of the original Star Wars Commandos video game.
Mm-hmm.
He was the Joker of the group. In this, he is way too serious, and they just did him so dirty, in my opinion.
So, for everybody listening, and for everybody, and Dojo knows, I have yet to watch season 3 of Bad Batch, but I'm also one that I don't care for spoilers because I'm going to be spoiled regardless at some point or another, so it's whatever. But Scorch is awesome. That is sad that they kind of did him dirty in season 3. Now, it is great that, Scorch is a canonical character, which originally he was only in Legends before they did they did a cameo of him and Boss in Clone Wars for one scene. And then since then we haven't seen them at all until the Bad Batch.
Yeah, they had all 4 members of that task force. They went to collect the bodies that Savage something.
Oh, Savage Opress?
Savage Opress killed. You just see them for 5 seconds on screen, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very short. Yeah, it was very short, but them being in the episode confirmed. Oh, excuse me.
Breathe, man, breathe.
I know, I got a tickle in my throat. I don't know where that came from. Ooh.
So anyway,
I'm good.
I'm
alive. It's all right. I'm not dead yet.
So, Omega and Crosshair managed to get off planet in a shuttle, and just like all Imperial shuttles, it crashes.
Oh boy!
None of the tech really survived. None of the navigation, because Tannis is a very secretive place. And one of the episodes, the Emperor actually does come to Tannis to work on, check in on Project Necromancer.
That's what I was going to say. Tannis sound familiar to me. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose of Tannis, was Project Necromancer, or Necro something.
Right, which, and if anybody knows, that project specifically was the project to, keep Palpatine alive forever, essentially.
Yeah. And all the clones that were retiring were sent off to Tannis for testing. They were testing all the blood, even Omega, which tested positive for M count. Now, for all the fans who know, M count is just midichlorian, but apparently it is an unknown term in the galaxy at large.
Yep, we get that one mention in Phantom Menace, and we don't hear about it ever again. And I was like, okay, cool, what's midichlorians? Oh, yeah, we're never going to talk about that ever again. I was like, then why bring it up? Oh, just something to throw away, because we had to have some sort of explanation to have Anakin join the Jedi. That's it? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then Nalase has been covering up the fact that Omega M count meets the qualifications that the Emperor needs. She's been covering this up. And during Omega Crosshair's escape, she can't cover it up. She's like, okay, go, run. I can't cover this up. You got to get out of here now.
Right.
And so this leads to a series of conflicts with I don't want to say upgraded, but a different special ops unit. The one with a whole black mask and solo act. Infiltrator, I think they're called, or something like that.
Right.
So anyway, Omega and Crosshair meets up with the Bad Batch. She says, we got to go back and get all the clones out. And the rest of the season is just them trying to figure out how to get back to Tanis and free all the clones. Now they go on a various couple of missions. They meet up with clone rebels, essentially. Rex, Echo, a couple of other ones. I think Howitzer was in there.
Was Wolf a part of it or no?
No, not yet. That's
Not
part
yet.
of the episode. Okay. They get to the base. They get tracked to the clone's base, and it gets raided by the infiltrator. That base gets blown up, and they have to sort of scatter for the most part. Wolf shows up at the end of the episode, sees that it's Rex leading this group. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to turn on my brothers. Get out of here. Go, shoo. Right. And after that, they meet an old enemy, frenemy, the Dathomir witch. I can't remember her name, for the love of God.
Asajj Ventress?
Asajj Ventress, yes, thank you. They meet her up because they're trying to figure out this whole M count business. Well, they go on a bounty hunting thing with her, which is kind of an interesting episode.
Right, because at this point, this is where she is obviously not associated with the Separatists anymore, or Count Dooku, obviously, because, they're dead. And she goes off on her own, and this is like right before, or I want to say this is right before the events of the Dark Disciple.
No, after.
This is after the events of
Dark Disciple takes place during the Clone Wars.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to be an arc in the Clone Wars series, but they just ran out of time and money, so they just made it into a novel.
Gotcha.
Because part of the Dark Disciple storylines, they're trying to kill Dooku.
Gotcha.
And so by the end of it, she's like, she might have it, she might not. It's hard to say. And and there's also a ass-kicking scene between Wrecker, Hunter, and Crosshair. And she's just sitting on top of like all three of them, waiting for the kid to finish up a task. She didn't even pull out her lightsaber, I think.
Oh my God. I mean, that's not surprising at all, honestly.
Yeah. And then it gets dropped that, like, yeah, they've tried to kill me before. That didn't take. And she just kind of leaves. And throughout this whole thing, Hemlock, the main bad guy for this, lead researcher, promotes an assistant who's Omega's sister, quote unquote. Sister. And she starts kind of doubting what they're doing, because in Project Necromancer, you actually get to see a little bit of it. They are kidnapping kids for their M count.
Oh, lovely, because that always goes well.
Yeah, and they're just constantly taking samples, having them do puzzles. And there's even an episode where an infiltrator goes in, kidnaps a kid. I think the mother's still alive. And this is like a baby, like maybe 1 to 2 years old equivalent.
Interesting.
I want to say the mother's still alive, but they just straight up kidnap the kid and take him off to the facility. Eventually, the Empire figures out where Bad Batch and Omega are hiding, which is that island, tall mountain island.
Right.
And they come and pretty much just pull a first order, just knocking down doors, taking over the place, setting fire to houses. And Omega just surrenders. Of course, the idea was for Crosshair to put a tracker on the shuttle. That didn't work out. So Omega gets taken in and kind of has like one-on-one with Hemlock. And throughout the rest of the series, she's just trying to figure out how to escape this facility. And Hunter finally comes up with the idea. It's like, we're just going to board a shuttle bound for Tennis. Well, who do we know that would know what is boarded for Tennis? Good old Admiral, what's his face, who comes up with the gene code sequence.
Admiral Thrawn?
No, not Thrawn.
Tarkin?
No, he was arrested in season 2. Oh,
Yeah, I have no idea.
The chain code guy. Oh, this is bothering me now.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody listening, like, I haven't seen season 3, so this is all new info for me, which is great, mind you.
Oh man, this is just bothering me now.
Well, it's an
really
admiral.
Is. Yeah, it was an admiral who essentially gets double crossed by the Emperor. Okay. Rampart, Admiral Rampart. He's in a prison facility. They bust him out to figure out where Tanis is. So they figure it out. Meanwhile, Omega is trying to get out, and she sees the Zillo Beast.
Ooh.
Some kind of liquid container, constantly being zapped, constantly being sedated. It's like, and that's our distraction right there.
Unleash that thing, we won't have to do much.
Yeah. Because... And again, Bad Batch is trying to come up with a plan to get her out. And it's like, they don't know that she's actually pretty smart at this point. Tech trained her well.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So the plan goes into action. And a lot of things happen. All the kids escape going through a series of tunnels. They release the Zillo Beast, which just tears up the facility. Meanwhile, Tarkin's in the background putting pressure on Hemlock to get results because he wants that money for Project Stardust.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Bad Batch lands on the planet, crash lands on the planet, and they're just having a hard time getting to the facility. Once they get to the facility, oh, what did she do? What did she do? And for all intents and purposes, the Zillo Beast just is a permanent residence on Tanis now. Nala Day has now become a prisoner in her involvement to help Omega escape. She's like, I can't let my work go. Can't let the Empire hold my work. I have to go destroy the main database. So she's off going to do that. Omega and the Bad Batch are going to free the clones. And at some point, the Bad Batch gets captured by Hemlock, get taken to the infiltrators' little small circular base there. And it turns out they pull a Winter Soldier and just keep them in deep freeze when not in use.
Right.
And there are 4 of them. They unleash all 4. All 4 get beaten. The escaping clones help everyone escape and defeat the infiltrators. Naliste and Rampart have a conversation about Project Necromancer because Rampart, in order to get back in favor with the Empire, it's like, well, I'll just save all this data and use it to blackmail my way back in. And Naliste, with a thermal detonator, which I can't remember where she gets it from, just sets it off. And then Rampart's like, oh, boom. Just, uh, Rampart gets what he deserves. He's an ass. Now let's say she was.
Makes sense being an Imperial.
Naliste was not a good person, despite how she was treated in the season, like a victim. In the Clone Wars, she was not a good person, in my opinion. She knew about the chip. She knew about Order 66. She kind of got what she deserved in the end.
Oh, absolutely. She could have prevented a lot of death. Like, a lot. But
so in the end, they get all the clones out. They get the kids out. They go back to the mountain island. And essentially, the clones are breaking up. It's like, okay, we're going to go hide here, or live on the mountain island. We're going to try and get the kids back home. And the blue skin senator, like the teenage senator, what's her name?
You're asking the wrong person for Bad Batch.
Yeah, well, anyway, she was kind of pivotal in the first two seasons, and then she just became a nobody in the third season, barely mentioned. But apparently, she's going to be helping relocate clones and helping these kids get back to their family. So the season ends with Wrecker, Hunter, Crosshair, and Omega just sitting down, finally taking a much needed breath.
Right. From all the chaos they kept getting into.
Yeah, and it's like, and Crosshair at some point also got his hand cut off, his good hand.
Oh.
By one of the infiltrator clones. Who was mocking him.
He won't be shooting a rifle anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, and Hemlock also finally gets his comeuppance as well. He gets killed off by Crosshair.
Oh, good.
And Scorch as well, unfortunately, dies defending Hemlock. Like I said, they did him so dirty.
Yeah.
That's my only problem with season 3.
The thing with that is I blame the inhibitor chip, not on the actual character Scorch. I blame the inhibitor chips.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
So the final scene, you see Omega prepping a ship. She's much older, like late teens, early 20s. And you see a partially gray Hunter sitting down near the ship. It's like, do you really think you could leave without me knowing?
Right. You're right.
At this point, she's going to join the rebellion.
Oh,
which has led to theories that she might be part of Skeleton Crew.
Ooh, that would be cool.
It's like a live action Omega for Skeleton. It's like I would be down for that.
Right, with all the other live action adaptation of animated characters into their live action counterparts. I'd be down.
Yeah. And Hunter's like, this isn't my fight, but if you need us, just give us a call. We'll be there. And of course, Omega has kept up with her training, in my mind.
Right.
So she would be perfect.
And for all we know, I mean, she does have an M count, so she is force sensitive at some degree. So
apparently, everyone's force sensitive at this point.
That is also fair. Now, granted, it was said in the earlier, even the original trilogy, like the force is in everybody. It's just if you teach yourself to listen. So, I mean, what they did with for Ahsoka and how Sabine is now a force wielder, I know a lot of people got mad about that, but it was stated something from George Lucas in one of the original films.
Yeah.
So you can't. It was already there, and it was also in Legends. And a lot of people were able to use the Force in Legends if they who weren't Jedi. So
yeah, to various degrees, but
right.
So and the Gonk unit is still there.
Yeah,
goes off with Omega to join the rebellion.
Good. You have to have a Gonk droid. Always have to have a droid companion of some sort. Doesn't matter who you are, you have to have a droid.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I give it like a 4.5 out of 5
Okay.
sabers.
4.5 out
Instead
of
of
5
stars,
sabers.
instead of sabers.
That's fair. 4.5 Star Destroyers out of 5.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
one
and then
was- It was because one was cut in half.
and at the end
Damn
of the
chopper.
last episode, Tarkin shows up with his personal Star Destroyer. They're finally starting to get Star Destroyers in there. And he's like, "Yep, clean this all up. I'm taking the money for Project Stardust."
Fair enough. And I can't remember what Project Stardust was.
Death Star.
Death Star. Okay.
Yeah, he Galen, not Galen Merrick? Was that it?
No, Galen Merrick
No.
was Starkiller. You're thinking of Galen Urso.
Urso, that was it. Well, they both have Galen.
True.
Galen Urso named it Stardust after his nickname
Also
for
known-
his
yep.
daughter.
Also known as Death Star Project and the Ultimate Weapon Project. Yep. Okay.
So yeah, it
Couldn't
was
remember.
pretty good.
Well, that's all. That's good to hear that season 3 and the final season of Bad Batch went very well and was, I know across the board and by critics and fans alike, it was very well received. So, which is good, but it was, I know, a sad moment because I coming up on my TikTok feed, even on YouTube, so many people are stating like this is an end of an era, to where this is like Star Wars, the Clone Wars stuff has finally ended after like a decade or something. It was some crazy amount of time. It was like 8 or 10 years. It was like we're finally ending the Clone
It
Wars.
feels longer than that.
Well, let's see here. Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars Clone Wars movie came out in 2008.
Oh, okay. So 2008. So 2024. Okay, yeah, it's more than a decade.
So 15, 16 years.
Yeah. So yeah, very long time. And yeah, I agree. It's end of an era.
Yeah.
Completely. It's sad to see the Clone Wars. They finally wrapped up the Clone Wars stuff. Now, per se, they will go back from time to time. For all we know, there's probably more than likely going to be another Tales series of some sort. That is at least what I speculate with how the way they worded the first series and the second series, which we're about to go into here after the mid-break. But yeah, so with that being said, let's take a quick mid-break and be back to talk about more of Tales and the Acolyte. All right, welcome to the middle of the show. We're talking about everything with the podcast that has nothing to do with the lore of the Star Wars. I almost said a completely different podcast there. But here, I want to thank all of our patrons, like Kodojo joining us today. Thank you so much for supporting us. And if you too want to become a patron and join us on the show, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, or you can get ad-free episodes, or even join us once a month on the show like today. And you can also support us on Apple and Spotify. You leave 5-star review on Apple with some words. We'll read it out loud the next time on the show, as well as a nice Spotify comment, which we don't have any this week, but that's all right. And you can also find us on a few different Discord servers. The Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting, and the Cups Podcast and More Discord, all in the links provided below in the description. And you can find us live when we go live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/benoftamara every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, to where you can join us in the chat and ask Star Wars questions of the topic of that we are doing, and we'll answer them live on the show. So yeah, go check those out. It's a lot of fun. And other than that, I have nothing else to add. So yeah, that's about it for the mid-break. Pretty quick and easy. So let's get right back to it. All right, we're back. And now we are going to be talking about Tales of the Empire, which is a project I did watch. So I have stuff to comment on this. So we're good with that.
Go ahead.
So, Tales of the Empire, first 3 episode is about, help me with the name.
Morgan.
Morgan, thank you.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Yes, who we obviously meet in The Mandalorian Season 2 and reappears in Ahsoka, the first season of Ahsoka, because we do know that it's going to get a second season. So, we get her origin story, essentially, how she got involved with Thrawn, how we saw the fall of Dathomir with Grievous, which was really cool to see, by the way, and shows how menacing Grievous was.
Oh, yeah.
So that was really, really cool. And yeah, we see her transform from a night witch into more of a docile person at first, to be joining the Empire, but wants to get in the higher ranks, specifically to avenge her sisters from
within.
From within. Exactly. So that was really cool to see. We see the interaction between her and the Empire, and then eventually her and Thrawn, and get the reason of why she was aligning herself with Thrawn and the Empire at first.
Yeah.
And then, we see when she finally meets Thrawn, they're still in the Empire, but eventually, obviously, when the fall of the second Death Star, it's still everything under her control of the quote-unquote Empire.
Yeah.
Which is Thrawn's faction. So,
yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
The last episode of Morgan is probably after the Battle of Jakku, by the looks of it.
Right, yeah.
And
the not the Resistance, but the New Republic is established and everything, and things go for the worst for said diplomat.
Yeah. I find that funny, is that a person native to the planet pretty much gives herself the senatorship of that planet, of that world. And then she shows up, it's like, you are here to be arrested. Stand down. Morgan's like,
right.
Really? Really?
No, that's not going to happen today. And never. Goodbye. And just wipes them out. The diplomat and her escorts. So,
yeah, it's like, this is an Imperial stronghold, quote unquote.
Yeah, and with one exit, by the way.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, is a terrible place to put your ship, right at the, straight off from the main gate, where there's a clear line of shot to the loading bay.
Yeah. And then,
which I saw that and it's like, oh no, that's not going to be a good thing to do.
And based off of, I want to say season 2 of The Mandalore, where Din Djarin finds Ahsoka, there is a burnt out forest, and it still looks like it's slightly smoking from that. And this episode takes place, by the looks of it, probably at least a week, maybe a little bit more before that episode happens.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion,
okay,
because the forest,
that would make sense.
At the end of the episode, she just starts burning down the forest, like
right.
What happened to her, essentially.
Right.
She becomes Grievous.
Yes, exactly. Essentially, she does become like Grievous, to where she does the things that he did to her people, vice versa. But yeah, and that's where we see the state of the forest by the time when we see it in season 2 of Mandalorian, which is really which was really good to see. Is like, okay, cool, they're keeping up with what it looks like when we see it for the first time on screen before Tales released.
Yeah.
So they're keeping up with the continuity of things.
Yeah. I also found it interesting that apparently she was the original designer of the TIE Defender.
Right. That is true. That we did get that in the second episode, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's which the TIE Defender was actually a really good TIE series ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the Empire's like, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. And I was like, it has shields. Why not? Like, that's the main
hyperdrive.
thing you need. And a hyperdrive. Your standard
like
TIE fighters are literally like, you get shot once, no matter where, you're dead.
Yeah. It would have fought the X-Wing, the backbone of the rebellion, to a standstill.
Right.
And that
would have been a pretty good tie between the standard rebellion fighter compared to their, mass production ties, which the whole reason the TIE design, which you can go back and listen to our TIE fighter episode, which we go over the specifics of that. The whole reason why they were mass produced is because they can keep pumping them out, and they were cheap. But
TIE
because of
Defenders
them cheap, they were low quality, so one freaking pretty much a blaster bolt would take it out. Almost.
Yeah.
And we see that in Rebels. We see blaster bolts destroying TIEs. With enough firepower, you can take a blaster bolt and blow it to smithereens. So,
and then Thrawn, she takes up Thrawn on her offer because the Empire's coming for her world, and the Empire's like, "Ooh, untouched world, you say? A world with all its natural resources, you say? We'll be by shortly."
Right, exactly. Oh, this is where you can get this stuff? Yeah, we're going to take your world and not use your plans to make the TIE Defender. Even though it's a pretty good idea, we want the resources more because that's what we need, because we're the Empire.
Now, Devil's Advocate, I wonder how much worse it would have been under the Empire and not under Morgan.
Oh, it would be, I would imagine, it would have been far, far worse. Though I don't know, she's pretty bad too. When we see her own citizens not wanting to be near her.
Yeah, but then you look at Lothal, and when the Empire finally takes over that world, they just are straight up strip mining that world.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. No, they would strip the world clean of its resources completely, because that's what any mechanical empire does.
Yeah.
So,
and now on to the second half of Tales of the Empire,
which I'm going to be honest, did not really interest me at all. I thought it was really boring stuff. It was great to see an end. So the last 3 episodes, we get the end of Barris's story and get to know what happens to her after Order 66, or right when Order 66 happens, when she's in prison and all that jazz. But like, really, it didn't drive the story forward, in my opinion.
No, it really didn't.
It didn't. It's like, cool, we get a wrap up on her story, but like, I guarantee
it's like sitting in idle at a stoplight.
Right, and it's like, I'm pretty sure most of us watching the last 3 episodes, like, this didn't do jack to the main story at all. The first 3 episodes made sense because we get to see the origin of Morgan and why she's in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But with the whole Barris thing made 0 sense because it didn't like tie anything up all that well. Yeah, we see what is it? The Inquisitress Imperius, the
building,
the main base is being made. So we see it in like from different standpoints, from where we see it in Tales of the Empire, and then we see it in Jedi Fallen Order, and then we see it in Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's all 3 points, or in different times, and we see it being built, and it's more constructed at each point, which is cool. And we can see like how the Inquisitors are formed and trained, and like how they were selected, which is cool. Like, we get that filler in on who was what and what was who.
Yeah,
but that was
looks like
really
it looks like Beerus was part of the first batch of Inquisitors,
right?
Essentially.
Now, I will say what was the sister that was always with her?
Fourth sister.
The fourth sister. She does turn up in Obi-Wan, right? She's in Obi-Wan.
I think so. She does.
Yeah, she's in Obi-Wan, so she appears there. But that's it.
Yeah. She she this the first episode shows Beerus being trained by the Inquisitor with like three other cadets.
Right.
One cadet says, "Screw this, I'm out," and Grand
dies.
Inquisitor says, "Yeah, he took a wrong turn somewhere."
Oh no! What could that mean? Oh, his death.
And then she's forced to fight to the death with the other initiate.
Right. Yep.
And in the Clone Wars, she has no problem taking on another Jedi.
She was almost on equal footing with Anakin.
Yeah, until he started to tap in the dark side a little bit.
Right.
But
exactly.
She had no problem going full evil. In Tales of the Empire, it's like, I don't want to do this.
Right. It's a complete.
Gotta make up your mind. You gotta make up your mind.
I don't know if it was like her time in prison that really like kind of softened her to where she kind of
time with the Inquisitors,
where she reflected and was like, okay, I don't really want to, like, I was wrong going down that path. And then her times with the Inquisitors, seeing the true evil that they did, and her still sticking with the ways of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is the greater of two evils. This is the greater of two evils.
Right. So I mean, funny enough, that reminds me of the quote from The Witcher. Evil is evil, lesser, greater, meddling, it's all the same.
Yeah. And then the second episode, they go after a Jedi. The fourth sister cuts down like 20 odd people right in front of Beerus because they were hiding a Jedi. And Beerus was like, oh my God, why?
And that was the trigger point. He's like, yep, I'm done.
And then she betrays the fourth sister, knocks her off a cliff. It's like, oh, we'll be seeing her shortly.
Right. And then, years later, she, is
decade,
tracked down.
2 decades.
It was like 2 decades or something like that. 20 or like 10 or 20 years or something like that. She's found again by the fourth sister. No, it's not that long.
Well, either way, she looks old. Pierce looks like she did not age well.
Yeah.
And the couple is trying to find her because apparently she's become a healer in a stage of some kind.
Yep.
And it looks like she's kind of part of that underground network from Obi-Wan.
Oh, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see her becoming someone to hide the Force. Like, I mean, obviously, a parent's come in with their child to Barris and ask her what's wrong with their child, and Barris essentially tells them it's okay, nothing's wrong with your child, they're special, they're Force sensitive. This is something that I grew up with because I was raised in the Jedi Temple. I was a Jedi, and essentially trying to put them on the path to hide from the Empire because the Empire was going to be hunting they were hunting all Force sensitives.
Yeah, they turned into children kidnappers at that point.
Right.
So she delays the fourth sister long enough for her acolytes, Beerus's acolytes, and the family to get a head start to the ship.
Yep.
They go into some ice crevice, ice glacier thing, and the fourth sister is just getting turned around. She almost catches the group several times, but in the end, she just...
her anger clouded her, and
it becomes a metaphor. It becomes a metaphor.
Right. Completely, and then strikes down the one person who was wanting to forgive her, and and that was basically the end of the episode. That, like, after, we don't know what happens after that.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, carrying off Beerus back to the camp. It's like, well, back to not knowing what the hell happened to Beerus.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, the first 3 episodes were good. I liked the first 3. The Barris episodes, I don't know. It brought it down so hard. It didn't stick to me. It's like, okay, this is entertaining, but like, it doesn't drive anything, like, at all, story-wise or anything. Nothing gets driven.
No. So I would give it like 3 sabers out of 5.
I would agree with that, and I agree with the 4.5 for the first half. Or no, that's Bad Batch. What's the first half? Or is that just overall?
That's overall. If we're just grading like the first half, I would give that like a solid 4 out of 5 sabers.
I agree. And the second half would be like 2.53.
Yeah, it brings Tales of the
It
Empires.
wasn't terrible, and because we did get some good info on how the Inquisitors worked before, like once they first started.
Mm-hmm.
But that was essentially like the big thing we got out of her episodes, besides her like conclusion of her story, which we didn't really honestly
get a
need.
Conclusion.
Like they could have just, she died in prison or something like that.
Yeah,
they could have done something like that, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, last topic is we are talking about the upcoming show, Star Wars Acolyte, which is premiering next week, which I'm super excited because they have done a new trailer. They have posted out new posters of the characters showing up in this series. So,
and a ton of trailers as well. Apparently.
Yes. They've done a lot of teaser trailers or like 15-second trailers, and like they did a new trailer recently, which is like a minute long.
And I've been trying to avoid it because most trailers nowadays seem to spoil everything.
I agree. So as far as we know, so what we know is, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, we have one returning character from the novels. Sinestro Rowe is coming back from the novels into the series. She is the only character that we know of that is returning from the novels to the to the Acolyte, because it is set in the High Republic. Now, this was interesting that I saw on YouTube and TikTok was people were freaking out about her lightsaber, because if anybody read the books, her lightsaber she has a configuration on it to where it turns into a light whip. And a lot of people, I guess, were saying,
upset.
Disney were upset about it, saying, the Disney-fied it and all this stuff. And it's like, no, light whips were in Legends. Like, they were during George Lucas's time.
Well,
they were during the 90s.
Yeah. Well, the only one light whip I knew was during the Legends, a Clone Wars book, where Obi-Wan and Mace Windu were on a mission to convince some people to join the Republic or not trust separatists or anything. And they were tricking the local group where Obi-Wan was using a light whip against Windu. It was all staged and came out eventually. That was the only time I knew in Legends. I'm pretty sure during the New Republic era, there were probably plenty of light whips. But even canonically, there were evidence of whips with a zing.
So the light whips were. So those were electro whips.
Yeah.
So and what we see in Clone Wars are electro whips. So they, from what what their name implies, is they electrocute whoever they wrap. So they don't physically like cut limbs off or anything like that. To where a light whip is exactly like a lightsaber, but in a flexible whip form. To where, yes, you can sever limbs and an entire body in half if you wanted to, or multiple halves, depending on how the whip interacts with the body. But yes, they're in history, in Legends, light whips appear multiple times. They are in the Darth Bane books. They are in the Jedi vs. Sith comics. They are in the Jedi Apprentice comics. They are in Star Wars 95, 96, 97, which are also or I think those might have been the novels. Legacy of the Force, and also in Legacy 2013, which was before when Disney bought the property of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yes, their light whips have been around since the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting is that I can't remember in Vanessa Rowe's first book, she states that there are schematics in the Jedi library of light whips.
Correct.
But the council has frowned upon the use of them.
They deemed it very dangerous, and only the most skilled of wielders should be able to use them. So, but yes, the council frowns upon the light whips because how hard it is to control the movement of the whip. Because one wrong move, the whip will snap back and pretty much kill you.
Yeah.
It's not like a saber
And-
to where you can have more. You have a lot more control with it because it's just a vertical, sword rather than a flexible, like 6-foot whip
Yeah.
or 9-foot
And-
or whatever the feet length because she can adjust the length of the whip.
Yeah. And apparently she gets the idea from a fever dream or some dream. She wakes up in the middle of the
Yes.
night and she just starts to get to work right away. And
Mhm.
apparently, I think she states that she has read up on it, but
So
the
if
information
I
is very
recall-
limited on it.
If I recall on Vanestra Row, I believe she has
a purple lightsaber.
visions. Doesn't she have hyperspace visions?
Maybe.
I want to say she's the one that has Vanestra Row, Marian female. Let me see here.
It's kind of hard to keep track of who does what.
I know, because they added so many different new force abilities with the High Republic, which is awesome, by the way. Let me mind you, it is epic. But
Yeah, I think
can't
she was.
remember-
I think she was.
Yeah, she has a purple saber. Has a configuration. Yes, modification on a force vision. Yes, okay, she's the one that. So she has the ability to. She gets these visions when she travels in hyperspace.
Yeah, which
Lynn currently in the books is a very major plot point of her having.
Yeah.
But yes, she has these visions while she travels in hyperspace. So and she has no control over them whatsoever. They just happen, just because the Force.
And she's trying to suppress them. Her master was Stellan Geos, who died during the Starlight Beacon disaster.
Yep, and his saber was is the crossguard saber, which is, by the way, his crossguard is the actual definition of a crossguard, not what Kylo Ren has.
Yeah.
His crossguard saber has two. It's very similar how if you play the Jedi Survivor, eventually you can get an upgrade for your saber that Cal can get to have a crossguard, where the vents are vertical, just like the normal blade is, but they slide down to go horizontal. With Stellan Geos's, he has two metal bars before the actual vents drop down to where his hand physically can't hit the beam, which is how the actual crossguard works. Where in medieval times of swords, having a crossguard, it's used to parry and to where you're, can't cut off your own hand with your own sword.
Yeah. She's also one of the youngest to ever make Jedi Knight. She's only
Correct.
14, 15 years old.
Yes, I believe she was 14 when she became a knight for the first time in her novel. She was first introduced in... I think she's introduced in The Light of the Jedi, isn't she? In the very first book?
No, it was... I
Or
think it was a middle school book.
Okay, her young adult okay, so it's her young adult novel.
Yeah.
That's where she's introduced. Okay, I couldn't remember which book. So, because some of the young adult novel characters appear or are mentioned in Light of the Jedi, and then they go deeper into a separate story.
Well, they mix characters in which books they show up at this point.
I know.
They mix them around.
It's insane with the High Republic because you wait, that character was never in this event, but then you're oh yeah, then they explain everything that happens, and it's but they were in a different book.
Yeah,
that happened.
3 books can cover one event, like the Battle of Valo.
Battle of Valo was in 3 books. There was Starlight Beacon,
which was a comic, 2 books.
2 books.
And in comics.
In comics, yeah, that's true.
Vanestra Rowe was 16 when she made Knight. Or 15, sorry, 15.
Okay, she's 15. Okay.
15.
But, yeah, so nonetheless, we get her in the Acolyte TV show, which is going to be awesome. Introduction of the Light Whip. We see our first ever... Oh, I couldn't say that. It's not our first ever Wookiee Jedi because we have Gungi. First ever live action Wookiee.
Yes.
First ever live action Wookiee on the screen.
Which,
by the way, is played by the same actor who plays Chewbacca in Solo and On.
Yeah.
So
and I'm kind of upset they didn't bring in Buryaga for this. Yeah, he's already an established character. I don't know why they need to bring in... He is an established
character. We still, So the High Republic storyline currently is still ongoing. It's not wrapped up yet. Mm-hmm. And Acolyte takes place 100 or 50 to 100 years after the events of the novels that we're in right now.
100 years.
Yeah.
100 years.
So we don't know if does Buryaga live? Does he not live? I'm hoping he does live because Buraga's awesome, and I don't want to see him go away, and at least have him as a cameo.
Yeah.
At least have him be on the council. Please have Buryaga, because when they ended Phase 1, everybody was like, okay, I swear. Everybody at the High Republic panel at Celebration is asking the entire novel team, is what did you do with Buryaga? He better not be dead. And the entire novel team said, we can't divulge this information. I know this is everybody's major question of the night, but we can't talk about it. In the first book of Phase 2, they finally or no, I was thinking it was Phase 3 was when they confirmed. It was
it was an in-between book. It was an in-between book? Light of the Jedi or something like that.
Oh. No, I thought... What's that Light of the...
It was some... Yeah, Light of the Jedi. It was Light of the Jedi. Oh, no, not Light of the Jedi. Shoot, what was it? Dang it.
There's so many High Republic books. It's insane. Yeah, definitely not Light of the Jedi, because that's the first Mon. That's the first book
it was weird. It's a weird book.
I am pulling up the book list right now.
No.
And if anybody wants to read the High Republic novels, you can actually go to StarWars.com or go to Google and type in High Republic Star Wars High Republic novels, and it will give you a full-on chronological order of the books.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't be, out of place with it.
Oh, it was such a weird.
I'm looking. I'm scrolling. Not Fallen Star. Wasn't that one? Not Midnight Horizon.
It's like a series of...
Tales of Light and Life. Was it that one?
That was it. That's it.
Barnes & Noble exclusive. So I don't remember. I don't think I've read this one.
No, it's a weird little supplementary book.
Oh, it's short stories that bridges phases, resolves mysteries, and offers tantalizing hints of what is to come.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's an in-between thing too.
Yeah, it was published just before Phase 3 started.
Okay, that's what... Okay, because I did kind
of... And apparently Buryaga's rescue takes place in this book.
Oh, that makes sense now. Why, I'm listening to, which one was it? Was it Defy the Storm?
Probably.
Yes, Defy the Storm, because I have it, because that's Temptations of the Force is about to release. Next month, actually.
I already pre-ordered that audio version.
Yes, it is. I'm currently in Defy the Storm, which is where... Oh, God, what's his name? Buryaga's friend, who has the calf hound.
Oh,
God, Charhound.
Yeah,
the Charhound. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Oh, this is terrible. I can't remember names of books.
Yeah, we're supposed to talk about Acolyte, and we've moved on to this.
I know. Isn't it great? But yeah, anyway, we get our first live action Wookiee and Acolyte, which is epic. We see how this series is probably going to dive into how the dark side comes into a factor when it gets to the prequel era.
Yeah.
and how it like starts to
And how the council knows there are
become a
only
shadow.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, and how the council only knows 2 and so forth and whatnot. And we'll obviously get mentions of Darth Bane. What I'm hoping is to get references of Darth Revan. We'll see about that.
Grasping
now,
at straws, my friend.
It is grasping at straws, but it has been reported, and I mean, take this at a grain of salt, but it has been reported that Disney is going to be working on a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Disney Plus show.
Really? They're finally getting into the Old Republic.
Which they already confirmed back at Celebration, I think 1 or 2 years ago, when they did the movie announcements, the 3 new movies that they're doing. They confirmed the Old Republic is a canonical era of Star Wars, and then they will eventually touch on it and go deeper into it. So, and what me and Austin have theorized is that the Disney Plus show, since the remake game is still ongoing, it is still a confirmed project and is being worked on. So everybody waiting for that, it is still happening. Me and Austin theorizes that the show could be The Mandalorian Wars, and the game can be our story as Revan.
Yeah, maybe.
And give more backstory for people. Or it could be completely something different and not deal with Revan at all. It could be completely new characters, which I'd be completely fine with as long as they see Old Republic content. I'm happy. I don't care.
Now, the Old Republic covers a vast timeline.
What we consider we mean like 3,000-4,000 years.
Oh, even more than that. Back like 25,000 BBY.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what it is canonically, at least.
Yeah.
But canon-wise, we know it's at least 3,000-4,000.
Yeah.
Minimum.
For me, it starts with Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
And goes through until like at least the MMO.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And whenever, I mean, and that's an ongoing game, and with them doing Old Republic stuff finally, we're going to start touching on it. They might just, cave and say, "Hey guys, Old Republic MMO, yeah, that's canon now."
Yeah.
Because if they did that, it would do nothing to the story of Star Wars and the lore. It would just add more to it. It wouldn't change anything currently in what they're doing, which is what I kept saying and what I keep saying over the last few years we've been doing the show. They can make the Old Republic MMO completely canon, and it would not change anything that Disney is currently doing.
No, not really.
And it would not only make all Star Wars hardcore Star Wars fans super happy, but it would also make them better profit, because them saying, "Hey, this is canon," then everybody's like, "Oh, well, it's a canon game. I guess I got to go play it now."
Yeah, definitely gets a boost in the arm. It would canonize the greatest Sith to ever live, Valkyrian.
Oh, Valkyrian, yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and me and Austin have talked about Valkyrian on the show before. You think Sidious is bad?
Valkyrian's worse.
Valkyrian is literally a literal Sith goddess, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, the dark side is supposed to be selfish.
Yeah.
Gather your own power, and he's the embodiment of that.
Absolutely. When he wipes out an entire planet, in a different other galaxy, and still wipes out the planet.
Yeah.
And not even touch it. But anyway, I digress.
So, all right, on to predictions for Acolyte.
First off, one quick note with Old Republic. They are releasing Acolyte-themed items into the cartel market for the Old Republic.
Yeah, I saw that.
I got an email about that today. But anyway, move on to predictions.
So, obviously, one of the sort of lead female character, the Acolyte, as it were.
Right.
Obviously, it looks like she was a Padawan. Something happened, forced her to leave the Jedi Order. And my theory is that she's being tested / trained to become a Sith. Kill a certain number of Jedis, grab their crystals, because Sidious forces Vader to go find a Jedi, kill him, and turn his lightsaber.
Right.
And there are not many Jedi left at that point, but with her, it sounds like she's killing Jedi, She's trying to make the Jedi Order weaker. And her former master is now trying to hunt her down and bring her back to the light side or just put her down, period.
Correct.
And the rule of two is supposedly the apprentice is supposed to crave the knowledge of the master. The master is supposed to hold the knowledge and teach the younger. And then the apprentice is supposed to challenge the master, kill the master, and grow from there and take on a disciple and make that disciple even more stronger than them.
So I just pulled up the character posters that they recently just put out ahead of the show. So first off, we have Master Soul, who is the main master we will see, who is a wise, highly respected Jedi Master, strong in the ways of the Force, still in stalwart. Soul has a deep sense of compassion and will defend those who cannot defend themselves. He's a powerful warrior with intense emotions that he uses his Jedi training to balance. And, oh, what the heck? Oh, I have to swipe over. We have Endara, who is another Jedi Master we see in the trailers, who is a Jedi Master of great physical and mental skill. She's exacting control of her Force abilities, exuding a sense of command and authority with her presence. Though she does not seek combat, she is skilled enough to engage on her own terms. We have Jackie Lon, a skilled and studious Padawan learner. Jackie Lon shows great promise on her path in becoming a Jedi Knight. The Padawan apprentice to Master Soul is young, but she projects calm and conducts herself with maturity. We have Mai, who is a mysterious young woman with a tragic past. Mai gets swept into a sinister mystery, one that puts her in the center of a conflict in unexpected ways. She is determined to exact vengeance on those who wronged her, and little can stop Mai on her quest. So this is the mysterious acolyte, quote unquote, possible acolyte. We don't know what the acolyte is. It could be a completely different character. We have Kanaka, who's a Wookiee Jedi Master. Kanaka has subsequented himself in the tangled jungles of Kofar, and he's a loner who lives a solitary life. So, yeah, that's the 5 different character posters that we got.
Yeah.
With descriptions.
So I honestly think this just going to be essentially a test of the Acolyte to see if they can become a Sith. A bunch of Jedi getting killed along the way.
Oh, yes. There's
and then
much death.
And one Jedi making it out to tell the Council, who will immediately cover it up.
Interesting. Oh, and get this. Sorry, this is something that the creator, Leslie Hadeland, who is the creator of the Acolyte, revealed that Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2, the video game, heavily inspired the upcoming Disney Plus show. A longtime Star Wars fan, Headland revealed in an interview with Collider that she took inspiration from the iconic video game Knights of the Republic 2, and that Kara/Darth Taraya served as her biggest inspiration in creating the series. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
And she says the biggest inspiration was Kreia, or Darth Traya, from KOTOR 2, a character that was first encountered her playing the game. It was really blown away by her characterization as well as the journey that she took the protagonist through. It felt like the type of character that would be interested in building a narrative around, so that was kind of what I was bringing to addition to my overall fandom. That was the thing that kind of picked up on when I was brainstorming about this. So, that's awesome.
Yeah, Darth Traya was more philosophy of the Sith rather than physical violence, even though she could wield 3 lightsabers with Force.
With the Force? Yeah. Which, by the way, is a terrible boss battle. I hated that so much.
I don't think I got that far.
Oh, I beat it, and that final fight was terrible. You had to cheese it if you weren't strong enough leveled or had the right gear. But
yeah, I think I've seen people cheesing it with just Force lightning.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's also good to know that the creator of the Acolyte was already a Star Wars fan, and it specifically played the games, which is even better. Like, we don't like, obviously Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau are huge fans of Star Wars. Obviously Dave Filoni is. Like, his knowledge of Star Wars isn't ridiculous and insane.
Yeah.
But, like, knowing the showrunner and creator of the Acolyte took inspiration from KOTOR 2, mind you, which is a Legends game from 2003 or 2004, is amazing.
Yeah.
So
now, supposedly, there have been rumors that there isn't going to be a second season of The Acolyte.
we'll see. I don't...
Like I said, rumors.
Right. We don't know anything. Like Ahsoka. Everybody thought, oh, okay, Ahsoka's just going to be a one-off series, just like Obi-Wan. But then, because the massive success and kind of how they ended the story is like, well, nope, actually we're going to have a second season of this, so to tie up loose ends before like the big film that we're eventually going to do, Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
It depends on how well as the story goes and where they end it. I can being in the High Republic era, I can see them doing multiple seasons of this.
Yeah.
As long as it's well received. As long as it's well received, and depending on where they go with the story, I can see them doing multiple seasons. Especially now knowing that the creator of the show played KOTOR 2, and that gives me kind of more hopes of KOTOR nods.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope. Because if that's the case, I am all for it. All completely for it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yep. We only have a week to wait. We have 6 days to wait for the Acolyte. If you're listening to this, it's even less time because it's on a Tuesday. This episode releases on a Thursday, so you even have less time to wait. So it's going to be awesome. Super excited. And, oh gosh, I would want to talk about it on the next time I do this, like when we do our show next week, but I won't be able to. So, yeah, it's on a Tuesday, which we record on Tuesday. So, oh no. Anyway, but we are pretty much out of time for this week. So, Kodojo, do you have any final thoughts before we end the show?
The Sith is going to come in and embody all the Jedi. Just straight up murder them.
But yes, and if you have not seen one of the trailers, they show a very menacing dark side user who we think is a Sith, but we don't know, but the mask is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, just straight up body the Jedi. Jedi are not expecting this to come.
No. And I'm expecting a lot of references from the novels as well for the High Republic, as far as like the Nihil, and as far as goes with the Force Eaters. So I can, or the Drengir, we might get references to the Drengir. We don't know. But I'm sure they'll have references of the High Republic, and hopefully they'll explain what's going on with the High Republic era for this series, since I can see a lot of casual fans probably don't read the novels.
Mm-hmm.
Or listen to the novels, depending on if you're audiobook form or physical format. Hopefully they'll have, a kind of like the old, like all the films, have like a dialogue of reading to do and get you caught up on what the heck's going on in the galaxy.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, Dojo, where can people find you?
People can find me on the Discord as Kodojo at Ben and Friends Podcasting, the Cups Podcast and More, and Robots Radio Discord.
Awesome. And obviously, everybody, you can find me on this show as well as the other shows that I host, the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast, all a part of Robots Radio. And go check out our Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord. And if you play Final Fantasy 14, go join up on the Seraph server with us or transfer over, because we do have a free company, and we actually are all playing more often now. A lot of us are getting back onto the game to where we're actually almost to a free company house. So we're almost there. So if you want to join us, have some fun. It's a lot of great times. Run dungeons and all that jazz. So hit us up on the Discord. And with that being said, thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.